Hey y'all, it's Chloe and we're back with another video. You guys, Love is Blind Season 4 is here and it's serving. It's giving what's supposed to be gave, okay? But before we go ahead and get into it, I need you guys to do me a favor. If this is your first time here, go ahead, sit back, relax, watch the video on through. And if you like what you see and you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button for me, okay? If you are one of my lovely members or subscribers, hey y'all, how y'all doing? But baby, let's go ahead and get into it. So, I'm sure that everyone's familiar with what Love is Blind is, but if you aren't, I'll give you a quick synopsis, okay? So, the premises of the show is they have a group of men and a group of women who are dating each other through pods, okay? So, they never get to actually see each other. They literally just have conversation. In the pods, they can like share music through the headphones, play different games, you know, read each other books, all the things that you would do on a date without physically being able to do it together, okay? So they build these connections. Sometimes people have connections with the same people, which causes them to have to like, you know, really decide who they have a stronger connection with. It's a lot to it, okay? But the premise of the show is to find out if love is blind. Whoever you are talking to, can you love them even if they are not physically your type after you fall in love with them through the pods? Now, y'all, so far in episode 1, we have 3 love triangles, okay? That is Kwame, Chelsea, Micah, okay? There's another one who is Paul, Micah, Amber. If you guys notice, Micah's name was mentioned in both those love triangles, which now put her in a love triangle between Kwame and Paul. Micah, okay? There's another love triangle which then includes Irene, Bliss, and Zach. But they don't really come into play heavy to episode 2. So we got a little time before we really get into that one, okay? We have one solid love connection so far, and that is Brett and Tiffany. And baby, when I say that it's giving black love. And I am here for it immediately, okay? No questions asked. So let's go ahead and get into the love triangles of episode 1 before we really get into episode 2. So, Kwame, Chelsea, and Micah. Now, Kwame and Chelsea have this amazing connection. They have this great date. And I mean, the date is so good. They're talking about connecting the souls. And she's talking about making love to her husband's soul. And he's telling her how he really can just see it being them two, okay? So much so that when he has his date with Micah in the past, he tells Micah that he has a really great relationship with Chelsea. And Micah feels a little intimidated. And she was like, is it only because Chelsea validates you? And he's like, she definitely validates me. But then he wants to ask her, let me just ask you something. Do you think me and you have something that will stand the test of time? And she says, yes, like I definitely think we can. So Kwame now decides that he wants to propose to Micah early. Pause. Kwame, what? You just had this amazing date with Chelsea. You was just telling Micah how this date was amazing. And now you want to propose to Micah early because Micah brings up concerns about you actually might having feelings for Chelsea only because she validates you? So now that Kwame has said what Micah wants to hear, she kind of reels it in and pulls it back and say, but I still think that we should explore our other connections and not set in just yet so that when we know for sure. Sounds good, right, Micah? Sounds really good, right, y'all? So I had to run this all back in my brain because I'm like, well, say what now? So now is you and Micah to the end? Because that's what it gave. So they told each other in the pods that they were not going to mention this to no one else. But essentially, they were going to end up leaving this process together. But do we keep what happened in the pods? In the pods, absolutely not. Because Micah decides that she's going to go right into the ladies' quarter and tell Irene out loud so that everyone can hear her that Kwame wants to propose to her early. I said, what was the purpose? See, this is what I'm saying. Micah's here to play a game. Baby, she is here to play a game and try to make it to the end with anybody. Anybody. Because why would you make this man basically say he's going to propose to you? Then make him and then tell him that you're not sure, so you really don't want to just do it just yet. But we're going to keep it a secret that we're going to go to the end together. And I'm not going to tell anybody. Then go and proceed to tell Irene in front of multiple ladies. Not only did she tell her, she honestly was making fun of Chelsea at the same time because she's like, he only was choosing Chelsea because Chelsea was validating him and, you know, making him feel special. What? So that's when I got my first look at Mike and I was like, I don't like him. I don't like her at all, okay? And the fact that Irene thought that this was hilarious had me looking at her sideways. But we didn't get into them yet, because, baby, when we get into them, we definitely gonna get into them. So let's talk about Paul, Micah, and Amber, okay? So Paul brought Amber flowers for their Mardi Gras date. That was like so cute. They was having a good old time in there. They was really getting to know each other. Paul told Amber that they were more than likely gonna end up leaving together. Sounds good, right? Sounds good. But whenever Micah's in the mix, it's a problem. It's just always a problem. So Amber goes back into the ladies' quarter. She's feeling good. She has her flowers. The date was amazing. You know, Irina sees the flowers, and she's just gushing over these flowers. Oh my God, the flowers are so cute. Oh my God, these flowers are so great. I would marry whoever gave me flowers. I haven't had flowers in a long time. All into it. Till she gets over to Micah. Hating ass Micah, okay? Because now Micah's over there talking about something. You know, she just went on a date with Paul. And she was like, oh, really? Ugh. Like, wow, who would pick Mardi Gras? Who would pick Mardi Gras? Like, loser. How old are y'all? Loser? Grow up. Now, I can understand that a part of you would feel some type of way, but wasn't you just about to make it to the end with Kwame anyway? So why are you over here in your feelings over Paul? But baby, that's not where we're in. Because now Kwame went back to talk to the fellas, right? But he just so happened to be talking to Paul in the process. And he's just saying how Micah is the one. Paul can't take that. Because now Paul's like, oh no, I can't lose Micah. So even though he just told Amber that them two are more than likely going to leave together, he then goes have a date with Micah, okay? And he tells Micah that she is the one for him. And he asked her, if I was to ask you to marry me, what would you say? She said, I would say yes. I would say yes, Paul. That's the one thing I am sure that I would say. So now I'm sitting here like, hold the F up. You can't make this ish up at all. So you really went over there, got Kwame all excited about y'all leaving and going to the end together, basically messing up his head with everything that he had going with Chelsea, so that you could go ahead and stab him in the back to go be with Paul, even though Paul just told Amber that them two will more than likely be leaving together. What's happening here? Child, it's a mess. It is a whole entire mess. But this is how I know that Micah was serious this time, because Micah told him that he needs to go tell Amber. You need to break it to Amber. Let her know that it's over. And not only do she want him to do it, she needs to know the details of how he going to do it. Are you just going to like go in there and just tell her? Or are you going to like, you know, walk your way through it? It doesn't matter. Because she's playing games and I don't like it. Because what's the purpose? So now that we got through the love triangles of it all, let's get into some positivity. Let's get into some love, okay? So we have Brett and we have Tiffany. Oh my God, okay. Now, I will say this, that Brett rag to riches story is amazing, okay? How he didn't have shoes and power and things like that, and then, you know, he went from like just posting his work on social media to eventually just being one of like the head people at Nike. Amazing. I love his love story. Even when I love his life story. The fact that Tiffany said that he's one of the guys that she probably would have looked over because of how he was raised just shows that people really put a lot of emphasis on how people was raised. Something I never really thought twice about, okay? And I guess that's because I can relate to his story to a certain extent. Even down to the fact that he didn't have a degree, she kind of would have judged him on. But she's really proud of his accomplishments. But the one thing that I did notice when it comes to Brett is that Brett has a way of turning moments into tragedy, okay? When they were sitting down talking, they were talking about marriage and things like that. And, you know, he just was like, yeah. And he just sat up and he just started telling the story about how he lost his brother. And I was like, wait, how did we get here? Like, the story was traumatic, okay? Like, I really felt bad that the fact that he lost his brother. But I feel like every time we having a good solid moment, he kind of brings in the tragedy of it all. And I was like, Brett, like, I understand what you're trying to get at, and I think I know what you're trying to explain as far as like life's too short, you need to go ahead and be with the person you want to be with now, because you never know what can happen. But I felt like it kind of was out of place, but it worked. it worked and she loved it. But I do appreciate his transparency and being open with her. So on one of their final dates, he gives her a little plain white shoe and it represents new beginning. She's telling him that she's falling in love with him. And he's like, love? And she was like, hey, are you running away? And he was like, no, I'm not running away. I just have to get comfortable with hearing and saying that word. And I was like, oh my God, you could tell that he hasn't been loved properly. And I feel like Tiffany is going to love him properly, baby, okay? But while he's sitting there and he's like, you know, expressing his feelings to her, and he's telling her that she's the perfect match, and, you know, he really just want to be with her and things like that, homegirl is asleep. And I mean, she is knocked out asleep. I'm like, Tiffany, girl, I don't blame you. Because when the sleep hit, you gotta just take it for what it is. Homegirl was knocked out and he was over there like, Tiffany, babe, hello, are you there? Are you there? And she was not waking up for nothing. She must sleep really, really hard. I feel like it was kind of set up by production just a little bit to add a little bit of drama to their love story, because baby, they got a love story and we gonna see it. Now let's get into episode 2. Tiffany is still in their sleep. Now Tiffany been asleep for so freaking long that all these people have to come in there, that the ladies come to find her to wake her up. Now I don't know why they in there singing, hey, hey, hey daddy, hey, 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 and then she just wakes up like, hey, hey, hey. I said, what kind of set? I told y'all it was a setup. It had to be a setup, okay? But then she realized that she fell asleep with Brad and she feels horrible about it. Horrible, horrible about it. So y'all, now it's time to get into Jackelina, Josh, and Marshall. Well, not really Josh, because Josh don't really play a big part in this love triangle. But Jackelina and Marshall are in a pod talking to each other. And she's telling him, like, I got a robot named Marshall, and now I got a real human Marshall. I'm marshalled out. And he was like, no, you're not, because we got to have some children. Y'all, it was so cute. So then they start getting on this topic of like how she doesn't want to be such a hard parent and stuff like that. And then he tells us how his father would literally berate him because he wasn't good at math and say things to him like, this is why you're going to end up outside on a corner begging for change, and I'm not going to stop to give you any. And I was like, oh my God, that's so bad. Like, why would you say that? He was even like saying like he felt like, you know, he understood what his father was trying to do, and he know that he did the best that he could. And, you know, so he really pretty much forgives him. I just felt so bad. Like, oh my God, I can't imagine knowing someone who actually went through stuff like this. It's crazy because it's like stuff you see on TV. You know what I mean? I love the fact that she kind of like broke the ice with it, like a little joke. And she's like, I would have give you $1. You know what? Matter of fact, I just let you get in the car, because it's like that, you know, that quick relief that sometimes you just need from something so heavy. I think they have a really good balance, and I really, really, really enjoyed them two together. And she had to remind him, like, just give yourself grace. Just give yourself some grace. Y'all, he was like, I could see myself spending my life with you. And she was like, I know you can. So I guess this means I gotta break up with my boyfriends. I was like, yes, that's what that means. He was like, tell them they gotta go. Kick them to the curb, okay? They got to go. But I'm not gonna lie to you, they definitely seem like they love each other through these pods already. I don't know if it's the trauma bond or not, but I love it, okay? So now Tiffany gotta go talk to Brad because she fell asleep on him, okay? She's so nervous because she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, girl, now you know that man ain't gonna be that mad. Just tell him you went to sleep and you wake it up and you just tell him you fell asleep. And that's what she does. She goes in there and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I fell asleep. Your voice was so soothing. Like, oh my goodness, I don't know. And he was like, yesterday when I didn't hear your voice, it felt like a punch to the gut. And I'm just like, oh my God, they so dramatic. Y'all gotta add a little bit of dramatic to them because y'all know they perfect. But while he's sitting there talking and telling her how like she's the most wonderful person and she's perfect for him and everything like that, she is on the other side of this wall. I mean, breaking down, y'all, breaking down. He gets on one knee. And the one thing that I love about these proposals sometimes is that They don't have to get down on one knee. So when they do, it's like, oh my God. And when the women really be like over there, because she was over there like, oh my God, crying and everything. And she ran over to the door and everything. It just gives a little extra added feeling to it, because you ain't got to really do none of that, because you not like you won't be able to hug each other and kiss each other. It's just the pure excitement. Like the fact that he got down on one knee and asked her to marry her. The fact that she's running over to the door like, yes, I'll marry you, is so amazing. I love it, okay? She ran out of that daggone pot like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I said, girl, I'm glad you got your man. I was so happy for her, y'all. I was like, go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Okay, she got her man. But it was so cute, and I absolutely love that for them. I do. But meanwhile, it's heartbreak going down, baby. And I mean, it's heartbreak going down. Because Kwame is over here talking to himself, and he's telling himself that he wants to propose to Micah, even though, you know, she's not really giving him the attention that he wants, okay? So he goes to go talk to Micah in a pause or whatever. And Micah tells him, you know what? I realize that I do like the slow burn, and that maybe we should explore our other options. Said, well, damn, just like that. Like there was really like no conversation in between. And I feel like it was a coward way out, because instead of saying that she was going to go with Paul, she was just like, I just feel like we should explore our other options. No, tell him that you picked someone. Tell him that you decided who you was going to be with. Don't be a coward about it now. And Kwame was in the confessional like, yo, I feel like this is effed up. Am I the only one that feel like this is effed up? I'm like, no, Kwame, you're not, because this was effed up. She really made you basically pick her to turn around and pick Paul. We saw it. You're not crazy. But he did play it cool in the pod, okay? Now, when he got out that pod, it's a different story. But when he was in the pod, he was like, you know what? It's cool. It's all right. I hope you have a great life. Have a great rest of your life. Have a great rest of your night. You know, I wish you nothing but the best. And he left. When he got back into the men's corner, he was distraught. All I could think about was that time where Garrett was back there crying because I can't remember that girl's name, when she dumped him, okay, and she didn't want to marry him, and he went back and he started crying. That's exactly what Kwame was giving me. I'm like, woo, child. And I was saying to myself, you better not go propose to Chelsea tomorrow, because if you go and propose to Chelsea tomorrow, I'm coming through the TV myself and I'm choking you up. Okay, because I hate that. Like, don't go right to the next person. Have some time to heal. Think about it. Okay, think about it for a second. But he was distraught, y'all. I felt so bad for him, because that damn Micah really set him up. So Amber now's talking to Paul through the pods, not even knowing what's about to happen. Okay, so she's in here gushing like, oh my God, Paul, I cannot believe it. Like, I just feel like we are so perfect with each other. Like, it's gonna be great. Paul is on the other side of the daggone door. Like, so you know that you can only take it too far with two people, and I'm just gonna have to go through with my other connection. Oh, I felt so bad for Amber. Amber was sitting there crying. She said, F you, Paul. I said, no, that's right, girl. F you, Paul. F you. She was like, I would say, you know, I wish you the best, but I just don't feel like that right now. It wouldn't be genuine. And I felt even worse for Amber, because Amber done been through 2 husbands and now a pod boyfriend. Poor Amber. But this is the part that gets me, because when she walks back into the women's corner and she's sitting there crying and whatnot, all in her feelings and whatnot, Irene crater face and Micah blow up lips is sitting there laughing, okay? Because they think that this is funny. And I'm sitting here like, you guys suck. I mean, you got Irene literally on the wall, eavesdropping on this girl crying. You're laughing at her pain. Like, I'm sitting here in disbelief like, I can't believe these are grown women. What are you getting out of this? I swear I wanted Amber to get up and just ragtag her. Like, just pop her one good time. Because it was disgusting to watch and look at. Chelsea even went over to them, was like, this is not a game. Like, y'all acting like this is a game. Exactly. This is about finding true love and somebody to marry. And y'all out here pulling strings like this is a whole entire game. Micah sitting here playing with this one man emotions and this another man emotions to get back at a girl. And then literally laughing at women's pain. Kwame is upset with Paul though, because now he knows that Paul broke up with Amber for Micah. So now it's time for our first couple, Brett and Tiffany, to do their big reveal, okay? So, Tiffany looks beautiful. He looks dapper, okay? They look like they gonna really like each other, okay? The doors open up and like he runs out to her and like they embrace each other and they were like kissing. And I was thinking to myself, like, there's no way this is not gonna work. They fit each other so well. Like, they look good together. Like, they just seem like they should be together, right? Y'all saw it. So y'all get what I'm saying. I loved it. Like, even the fact that, you know, he got down and proposed again to her and she still had that same excitement just meant everything to me. I was like, this is going to be our couple. This is going to be our couple. So now Jackelina and Marshall were in the pods and she tells Marshall that she didn't tell Josh that it was over between them two, because when they was having their little date or whatever, he was just saying that if it's not her, then he's going to pack up his stuff and leave, and she just couldn't bring herself to do it, which put Marshall on pause, because Marshall was saying here like, why do you care that much about his feelings? Do you want to be with him or something like that? But now not only is Marshall a little upset, he's upset with Josh, even though he don't know it's Josh. He's upset with Josh because he's like, what you mean if it's not her, you going to pack up your stuff and go? I help you pack up your stuff and go. You could go ahead and go. Child. Meanwhile, Jacqueline's over there having a whole breakdown because she knows that it has to get done. So now Marshall goes back into the main quarter because he's feeling himself, okay? And he over there like, I just don't understand. Like, if somebody said that if it's not Jacqueline, go ahead and pack his bags then. Go ahead and pack your bags then. Go ahead and pack your bags then. Josh was like, you talking about me? I said, yeah, he's talking about you. Yeah, he's talking about you. So Marshall was like, yeah, I'm just saying, you could very well end up with your heart broken in this process. I said, woo, child, the boys are fighting. And y'all know I love to see the boys fight. So now Josh and Marshall are basically fighting for Jacqueline's love, but y'all already know, it's clear as day that Jacqueline wants to be with Marshall. So we already know that's what's going to happen. So Kwame finally goes and talks to Chelsea after finally getting over the fact that Micah picked Paul, okay? She walks in and she's exhausted because she feels like she knows that he lost a part of himself with Micah. She knows that he really had a thing for her and this really affected him a lot. And she's just like, I can't continue to carry this relationship. I can't continue to lead. And, you know, I'm just exhausted. And he was like, I appreciate how you led this conversation. And she's like, well, I can't continue to lead everything. And he was like, no, I wouldn't expect you to. Like, let me just take some of that off your shoulders. I really feel like Kwame's into Chelsea because Chelsea's so into Kwame. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely feel like he likes her and he connects with her. But I think he connects with her because he knows that she is head over heels, all 100% about him. And he loves the attention. So now Paul finally goes and asks Micah to marry him. And the excitement wasn't the excitement that we got from Brett and Tiffany, okay? She literally was sitting down the whole time like, yes, I'll marry you 1,000 times. Yes, for sure. And he wasn't really even on one knee. Like, it was just like, y'all could have kept this. Because y'all not going to be happy anyway, because the way this relationship was set up was on some BS. It was definitely on some BS, and it wasn't pure. You basically picked each other because you didn't want someone else to pick each other. Let's just call it what it is. So remember I told y'all about the love triangle between Paul, Zach, and Irina? Y'all, it's time to get into this one, okay? So now Bliss is making cupcakes because it's Zach's birthday. Irene's over there being a hater because she didn't get him anything for his birthday and had the nerve to go over there and ask Bliss, can she have a candle? Like, girl, what? Bliss was like, I really honestly don't understand why you would do this. And I think that, like, I don't want to talk about Zach with you. Like, this was out of line. Like, boundaries, sis. Boundaries. And Irina is sitting over there like she don't understand what she just did. And got the nerve to be, like, smirking and laughing about it. Like, you're a joke, Irina. I just want you to know that. You're a joke. And your attitude reflects on your face. Literally. So when Irina goes to sit down to talk to Zach, she starts lying like, oh my God, you know, I'm really sorry I didn't get you anything for your birthday. But I just want you to know, I want you to feel appreciated on your birthday. I wish you the best birthday, this, that, and the other. And then she's like, you know what? I'm lying. I honestly forgot it was your birthday. Oh. Why even lead with all of that? Like, that was just all fake love that you just expressed to him and then had the nerve to just be like, nah, I really honestly forgot. Like, for what? Now that you remember, it's okay to have those feelings. That's how I know that nothing that she says is genuine at all. So she's like, I just need to know, like, I just want to know that if you really start to catch feelings for Bliss or really find yourself falling in love with her, that you just let me know and be transparent. And he was just like, to be honest with you, I just love your bluntness. And I really feel like our lives will align together. And I'm just sitting here like, she's not it. She's not it. Her attitude is disgusting. I don't see how you cannot see how disgusting her attitude is, Zach, because we only get to see her interactions with you in the pods, and that's not even a good interaction from what we can see. So I'm trying to figure out, what is she putting down that you seem to be picking up? Because even when Bliss goes and have her date with Zach, he's eating the cupcakes and they having this really cool vibe and whatnot, she brings up the fact that Irina is a mean girl. And he's like, I honestly could see myself with both of y'all. And she was like, but that makes me wonder about if you pick her, if you have a good judge of character. And I said, I know that's right. I know that's right. Baby, I couldn't have said it better myself. And by every means, you should be starting to question if you picking the right person based on who they also like as a person. Because if you genuinely think that Irina at any point is a good person, you got to be just as effed up as she is, in my opinion. So now he's in his feelings about that statement. Because, like, what you mean you will be second guessing your choice in me based on me liking Irina? Because Irina's an effed up individual. Her attitude is disgusting. Her personality is trash. But you'll find that out sooner or later. I'm sure you will. Y'all, and then it's time to get into Paul and Micah's big reveal, but that's going to be in my episode 3 review. So make sure you stick around for a while. Leave me some comments down below. Drop me some yellow hearts, like the video, and join the channel and press that subscribe button. And I'll be back a little bit later with part 3, 4, and 5, y'all. I don't know if I'm put 3 and 4 together and then 5 separate or whatever, but they'll be up today. They'll definitely be up today. With all that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.